sheep's secret language, how they communicate. We tend to think of sheep as being rather docile and quiet animals, content just to graze peacefully. But appearances can be deceiving. They actually have a surprisingly sophisticated way of communicating with each other, far more complex than many people realize. Researchers have identified over 30 different bleats alone, each conveying a specific message. A greeting bleat might sound quite different from one, signaling distress or the need for food. And it's not just about vocalizations. Sheep also use body language and facial expressions to communicate subtle nuances in their interactions, a flick of the ear, a shift in posture, all carrying meaning within their flock. Believe it or not, sheep are incredibly chatty animals. While we often hear a simple baa, that's just scratching the surface of their communication skills. Researchers have identified over 20 distinct bleats, each one carrying a different meaning. A short, sharp bleat might signal distress, alerting the flock to danger. A lower, drawn-out sound could indicate hunger or a desire for attention. They even use variations in pitch and tone to communicate things like their location within the group or even individual preferences. It's an incredibly complex system that allows them to coordinate their movements, express needs, and maintain social bonds within the flock. You might think those bleats are just random noises coming from a flock of sheep, but they're actually quite complex forms of communication. Scientists have discovered that these sounds aren't arbitrary. Each bleat has a specific frequency and duration, and these details actually convey information about what the sheep needs or is experiencing. For example, a short, high-pitched bleat might signal mild distress, like being separated from its mother briefly. A longer, lower frequency sound could indicate something more urgent, perhaps a predator nearby or a need for food. Researchers are still decoding all the nuances of this sheep language, but it's fascinating to realize that these animals have a surprisingly sophisticated way of communicating with each other. It's fascinating how sheep communicate beyond just bleating. When faced with a potential predator, they often emit a distinctive sound that's been described as a squawk. This isn't just any noise, it functions as an alarm call for the entire flock. Think of it like a very specific warning signal. Upon hearing this squawk, other sheep immediately become alert and react defensively, bunching together tightly, often called fleaming, to protect themselves from danger. It's an incredible example of how these animals have evolved complex communication strategies for survival. It's fascinating to realize that sheep aren't just bleating at each other. They have a surprisingly complex system of communication using their bodies. Think of it like this: within a flock, there's an established social order, a hierarchy, if you will. And sheep use subtle cues to navigate those relationships. The position of their ears can signify everything from alertness and suspicion to comfort and contentment. A tail swishing back and forth might indicate annoyance or agitation, while a relaxed, still tail suggests calmness. Even posture plays a key role. A dominant sheep might stand tall and square its shoulders, whereas a more submissive individual will often lower its head and adopt a slightly hunched position. Observing these nuanced signals offers a real window into the dynamics of a flock. It's like watching them have quiet conversations without uttering a word. Imagine a vast pasture filled with hundreds of sheep. It would be incredibly easy for a lamb to get lost, wouldn't it? But they have an amazing way of finding their mothers. Lambs actually produce a very specific kind of bleat. Scientists call it a maternal bleat. It's not just any random baa. This unique vocalization is specially designed to be instantly recognizable to a mother sheep. She can hear that distinct sound, even from quite a distance, and pinpoint exactly where her little one is calling from. This incredible communication system helps lambs reunite with their mothers in large groups, ensuring safety and comfort for everyone involved. It's fascinating to realize that sheep aren't just following the flock blindly. They possess a remarkable level of social intelligence. Recent research has revealed that individual sheep can actually learn and remember the unique bleats, the calls of other sheep within their herd. Think about it, each sheep develops its own vocal signature, almost like a name. And these animals are paying attention and actively learning those names. This ability allows them to strengthen bonds with familiar individuals, quickly recognize who's who in the group, and even identify individual faces. It's an incredibly sophisticated system that helps maintain order and cohesion within the herd, demonstrating just how complex their social lives truly are. It's truly remarkable how intelligent sheep are. Recent research has uncovered an incredible aspect of their communication. They use spatial memory linked directly to vocalizations. Think of it as a kind of location-specific bleat. When a sheep discovers a good patch of grass or a reliable water source, it doesn't just remember the spot, it associates that location with a distinct bleat. Then, when guiding other sheep, they'll use that specific bleat to signal precisely where to go. It's essentially like naming locations with sound. This allows them to efficiently lead their flock to resources, even over challenging terrain or in areas with limited visibility. The complexity of this system suggests a level of cognitive ability far beyond what we previously understood about sheep. It's easy to underestimate sheep. We often picture them as docile and simple creatures. However, recent research has revealed something truly remarkable. They communicate with a surprising level of complexity. Scientists have discovered that sheep use individual names for each other within their flock. They can recognize and respond specifically to these calls, demonstrating an understanding of identity far beyond what was previously thought. This isn't just bleating, it's nuanced vocalizations conveying different messages about danger, food sources, or even social status. The intricate way they maintain their relationships through this communication truly highlights a sophisticated social structure. It completely challenges the common perception that sheep are simply following the herd. They're actively participating in a complex web of interactions. It's truly remarkable how much we're discovering about sheep communication. For years, they were often perceived as simple, docile creatures, but recent research paints a far more complex picture. Scientists have identified over 20 distinct bleats, each conveying different information from warnings about predators to requests for assistance or even expressions of boredom. These aren't just random noises, they're structured vocalizations with specific meanings understood within the flock. The subtle variations in pitch, duration, and rhythm all contribute to this intricate language. Understanding this nuanced system reveals a deeper appreciation for the behavioral richness and adaptability of sheep, highlighting their surprising intelligence and social complexity.